Welcome to writingalong.com. Today's episode is all about authentic writing, which there is definitely a degree of separation that you notice as a reader, as a writer. You know when your writing is coming out authentically, and you know when it's not. You can just kind of feel it. And it often just looks like it resembles something like a farce, like it's not real. It's not coming from anywhere or any source of real inspiration. And inspiration doesn't always have to look like, you're climbing to the hills and the sunlight in your eyes and the world is just open and brimming with ideas. Your mind is just lighted up with everything in the world, all this excitement and enthusiasm for everything. That's not what inspiration exactly always looks like. It could just be something very small, some little minor thing that happened in your life, and it's just it's the reason you're doing something. There's always some kind of reason behind stuff, and it doesn't always have to be a large idea to be a really powerful idea. And authentic writing is always kind of backed by that. It's backed by kind of knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. It's a bit of intentionality, but also a lack of obsession with what you know it's going to come out the way that it's supposed to, and you're pretty confident about that. You're not exactly doubting it as you're writing. That's really how I think writing really comes off as authentic, when you're not actively trying to make it something that it's not. Inherently, the word authentic is just, authenticity. What it is, what it says it is, that kind of thing. You don't gotta, you don't have to worry that your writing is perfect, pristine, elegant, all this stuff. It just has to be what's really going on in your head, and what you're really, that dialogue, that conversation that you're really having with your writers. What is the writing that's coming through? Are you filtering it through like 15 different things before it finally comes out? That'll get you kind of far from authentic writing. It's much more impressive. It's much more interesting when, ironically, you put less effort into that element of trying to make it perfect. You don't have to worry about perfecting your writing to any standard, because none of those, there's no real standard of writing. There's just what do you want to get out on the page. And if you want to get something authentically, you better start listening to what's going on there. What are the words that are coming to you? Don't replace them. Don't go back and edit something right after writing it. Otherwise, you're just, what are you coming up with then? It's just like a monstrosity. Let it flow out of you. And when it flows out of you, you're giving room for even more to come too. It's fluid. It's emotion. That's what writing can look like for you. That's what it can be. And authentic writing it's something that stands out too, because a lot of it out there I'm just being real. It's fake. It's not anything that's coming from someone's soul, and it just feels lifeless. And it's just like there's so much marketed garbage out there that it doesn't sadden me. I don't think it saddens you, but it's definitely just kind of a disappointment. Like, wow, that's what writing is. That's what people are calling it. It's disappointing. I was hoping that other things are kind of prioritized and made important. But the fact is, what makes money? What they're just printing off, these printing presses, these marketing machines that are throwing stuff out there and trying to just fit them into these top 10 seller lists, all that kind of nonsense, that noise. You don't have to live up to that or really think about that much as a writer. Who cares what they're doing? What does it matter? As a writer, if you're trying to be authentic with what you're saying, you're not just trying to shoot for the millions. You're not just making stuff just for the sake of it. As a writer, you're doing it because you really feel it and you want to share it with everybody, with the world. That always stands out. It's just like people notice it. It's just like a bright light in a just pitch black room. It lights up everything else around it, and it kind of exposes things around it too. To the point where when you see it, when you find it, it's just so much, it's so real. It's so, like, you welcome it. You're glad it's there. You're glad you found it. There are some writers that you may have encountered in your life that you're just thinking like, wow, they may come from a very different point and place in life, but what they say illuminates things for you. And it doesn't ruin other writers, but it definitely sets a new expectation. Like, no, this is how great it can be. It can make things clear in my life, in everyone's life. It can make things bearable. It can make things understandable. The super complex, whatever is just evading your own comprehension. This person's writing made, I understand it now. Like I can see it. That kind of writing it's priceless, and it's not something you gotta really think that, oh, I have it or I don't, that kind of thing. No, stop filtering yourself. Stop thinking you need to write like someone else. If you do that, it's not going to last long. It's just going to hurt you. It's what your output is going to resemble. Let's say you do accomplish this. You do end up wanting to write like someone else. Cool. What's so different about it? What stands out about it? Did you pick up on every little nuance about them? Did you know that they do this? Did you know that this is? It's like you're chasing something when it's right in front of you. When you're writing up on a page and all these thoughts are coming to you, you don't have to search outwardly. They're already there within you, waiting for you to use them. And if you don't, though, like most things in life, there's patterns in life that you see everywhere else. It'll rot and decay, and it could die, with you. And I don't think you want that to happen. I think you want your writing to be alive. I think you want it to be living. I think you want it to serve and function as kind of that light among things that are light among darkness, right? Bring perceptions out. Whatever's in the shadows, bring it to light. Let others see it. Let others know it. Let yourself know it. Let yourself see it. And you can accomplish that simply just by, what are you adding? What's unnecessary in your writing? What are you just sprinkling on top? What do you think, like, oh, I need to have this, I need to have that, I need to have this? What are all these things you think you need? When really it's just honesty. If you're having a conversation with someone, they're just really, it's a really authentic person. They don't have anything to hide. They're being completely open and transparent as much as they can for the context. And that's what you should personify through your writing, because it saves so much else that you have to do. You don't need a preface. You don't need like 50 quotes on the front and back of your book. You don't need this giant gold medal taking up half of the book cover saying it was awarded this and awarded that, and this is what this person's saying about it. No, what are you saying? Not about anything else. Just what are you saying? What's in your book? What's in your writing? Let that speak for itself. Let the quotes not even be necessary. No one else needs to really speak for it. It's on its own. That's what you are doing as a writer. You're standing on the shoulders, really, of what it is a craft and art in and of itself. Remember, this is historical. This is something that goes back before me, before you, and you're taking it on. You're saying, yeah, I'm going to learn what I can, and I'm going to just be as honest as I can be about it. What I'm seeing, what I want to write about, I'm not going to try to structure it in a, just too much premeditation. That shows too much obsession, too much doubt in your writing shows. I really do believe if you're writing something, you do want to get to the point too where you just stop doubting it, to the point where it just flows out of you, and it's not a worry for you. It's not like, I don't know if I'll be able to write today. No, I mean, some days you're not going to feel like doing it, but it's going to just, you're like, whatever is going to come out, it's supposed to. And that proceeding momentum, that forwardness you have with writing, people like that because they want that in their lives too. And if you can communicate that, if you can actually, like I said, personify that, imbue that through your writing, that's appreciated instantly by your audience, by your readers, and that connects with them, that speaks to them. It does take something, to be honest. Here's the thing: it takes a part of you. It's not a limited amount, but you definitely feel it. It's like reaching in and saying, okay, not your vocal cords, but just your soul, your personality, reaching in there and saying, here, take a piece, take a part of it. Of this, you can't grab onto it. I can't show you. I hold it up, and this is your soul, this is your spirit, this is your individual, whatever perspective you have on the world, right? However you want to see it, your identity, what makes you you. You're offering that. You can't fake it. Lots of writers would love to just fake it. It doesn't work that way. It gets seen right through. And if you want to, like I said, if you want to put something out like that, remember, that's going to represent who you are. And you have to be aware of trends that a future audience is going to start to expect. If all you're making is just the stuff where you're not really saying what you feel, you're hiding behind something, you've got to open up. You got to realize the consequences really are kind of non-existent in that sense. There's a luxury that someone's hearing what you're saying anyways. Me making this, I'm lucky that a single person is hearing what I'm saying in this episode. You're lucky that anyone at all is reading your writing. So you don't have to assume that, oh, it's just going to make this, a fact, and I got to be wary, so therefore I got to be really, really careful about what I say. No, not obsessing over how careful you're being with your words is also great too, because it's free. It's freeing. It's expression unlimited. And that's what people want for themselves. They don't always reach that place. You don't always reach that place. I don't always reach that place. But your writing can. Your writing is not bound by flesh. It's not limited to whatever the limits of your skin. Well, you can control, around you. I want to move my hand. Cool. I want to move my hair away from my face. Cool. I'm able to do that with my hands, with my body. But there's other stuff outside of me that I can't control. Writing isn't like that. Writing is unlimited. Right? You can make it whatever you want it to be. And you unlock that when you start writing authentically. I want you to check out How to Write a Book in 30 Days. It's a 10-part guide I have on my website, writingalong.com. Completely free, by the way. Let it sit in your inbox. Let it haunt your inbox. Let it remind you to write a book. There's no excuses you have right now or anymore. Get started writing. Thanks for tuning into this episode.